Let's be brutally honest about crypto here. I've got 12 points I want to make today, and these 12 points are probably going to scare some of you, especially if you're new or even been in the market for, I'd say, any less than 4 years. And the reason why I say this is because it is the cold, hard facts about this industry, and some of you may choose to not want to believe this. As far as my research and my network goes, everything I'm saying is as accurate as it possibly can be. Again, whether you want to believe it or not is entirely up to you. But I thought if we just move away from the price predictions and the overall bullish sentiment we're all feeling right now, let's make a video where we actually talk directly at some of the hidden things that are happening, all for the single purpose of protecting you, my audience, my subscribers, and those of you who are in the private community, our vault, who are of course wise enough to make the most of this bull run. Before we do, guys, don't forget, at any point in this video, if you find yourself enjoying it, hit that like button. Believe it or not, this video is not easy for me to make. All right, I've figured all this stuff out along my many years in the industry and many countless hours researching it and losing money in it. And I thought, why not just package it all into one video right now before we move up? Don't get me wrong, we're going to move up. It's going to be quite bullish, but you have to know this stuff to make sure you don't get screwed over. Let me begin saying, all right, those of you who are commenting down below already, oh, he's just trying to FUD the market. He just wants you to dump your tokens so he can buy them. All this sort of stuff. First of all, I'm in no way, shape or form powerful enough to move any sort of coin apart from a micro cap maybe worth $20,000 or $100,000, which I don't even talk about. Second of all, the term FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, I think is a blanket term for anything in crypto that isn't directly bullish. What I'm bringing to you today, I believe, is cold hard facts, and the timing of this video, I think, couldn't be any more important because I do think we'll move up here in the next month or 2 months. And if you know this, maybe you can pull away some really important information or make a critical decision and hopefully save you some money or make it a safer situation for you, whatever it may be. Number one, unfortunately, all right, most coins in crypto are vaporware. Most coins in crypto, they don't actually have anything that underpins them. They are just an idea. They're just a team of people. Maybe you and I can collaborate on something like this in the future, right? Where we just come together, we create a cool coin, a cool idea, create like a really generic white paper. We might hire a developer to talk a bunch of crap on the white paper, and then we come out with a product that hits the main narratives of the bull run. Maybe it's an AI project that utilizes deep in infrastructure that focuses on onboarding real-world asset tokens in some way. Like, you just get these buzzwords, stick them on the homepage, make some pretty cool, short attention span looking design where everyone's like, oh, look at these pretty little images, and no one knows how to read white papers, so you can get away with it. And unfortunately, that probably applies to 95, maybe even I'm being too generous here, 99% of cryptocurrencies at this point in time. Point two is venture capitalists. We call these things VCs. They're basically like you and I, investors in these coins, except they have two main differences. One, they're institutions, so they're dealing with millions or billions of dollars. They have a lot more capital to invest. And two, they get into these coins at early rounds. Basically, they get the coins at 10x, 20x, up to even 1,000x cheaper than what we have access to them at, which means when they have unlocks, they're going to sell their tokens, and they are incentivized to because they have so much capital to invest because they have investors that believe in them to make money for them. Okay, so they're incentivized to sell their tokens. Now, what we have to be careful of here is the tokens that give a lot with their distribution of their tokens to VCs. So in this case, what we're looking for here is not necessarily coins that don't give any of their tokens to VCs. It's okay, but we're looking for projects that don't give a lot away to VCs within specifically the next 12 months. For example, many of you would look at a coin like Aether and go, oh, look at how much the investors have, all of these tokens. Okay, that looks scary, but again, the bull run won't be around for anything longer than December 2025. And you can see here this small little slither that the VCs actually have access to, these investors. It is very, very small, and it's distributed amongst tens, even in some coins case, hundreds of different investors. What you have to be careful of is coins like Celestia that have a huge unlock coming up just for VCs. You can see these guys are getting almost half of the supply at this given time here in about like a week's time. Now, this is dangerous temporarily speaking and can be over the long run, but again, you have to know what you're looking for here. There are differences in these coins. The difference between Aether and Celestia is huge, but knowing this information, you can best prepare for the unlock event itself and buy when others are fearful, and if it really is a bad situation, maybe just take some profits off the table. Number three, this is a big one, all right? Teams are looking to make money from you. When they design their website, when they do things like use specific languages and are very careful with how they tweet, it's all to encourage you to buy. One of these coins recently had a post about their token on Twitter, okay? And I looked at it and I thought to myself, these guys are trying their hardest to incentivize people to buy their token. Now, you think about it critically for a second here. They want you to buy their token because they want the price to go up to likely benefit the advisors, the team, and even the VCs like Point 2. So be very, very careful here, right? Listen and look at what these people are saying and typing and doing, and if they are encouraging you hand over fist, especially on their homepage, on their website, to buy their token, they are looking to pretty much sell you their token to dump on you in this bull run, especially if you have a look at the vesting, and the vesting has a large unlock to the team or the ecosystem. If it's a small microcap coin and there isn't a docs team, chances are the ecosystem fund seems okay, but there's a high chance that obviously the team has access to that, and the guys is that, hey, we don't have any unlocks for our team, it's all completely nothing going towards us, but yet they will dump on you or rug pull based on the ecosystem. For an obvious one, be aware of meme coins, guys. There's a big narrative about meme coins right now and how they're fair and everyone loves them because unlike all these other utility coins that have unlocks for VCs, these coins, at least the good meme coins, don't. But what people are forgetting is that people who are early to these meme coins buy up a substantial amount of the supply for little to nothing, and what happens is they'll push it onto you. You're convinced to fall into this cult. What happens is they have this idea of hodling, and you fall into that, you fall victim to hodling. And so when these guys who buy up a lot of the supply for next to nothing end up convincing you to hodl, they sell on you, price comes down, you're thinking it's a great discount, they're still telling you to hodl, and you're buying the token when they are selling on you. They're like Bitcoin, built on belief, built on the bandwagon effect. Meme coins to a degree are the exact same, but the difference is, of course, Bitcoin has the meme of it being digital gold, or the potential for it to be digital gold, something of a store of value. These meme coins have a PNG photo of some really funny thing, and ultimately, once the idea of the meme is destroyed, once that community begins to abandon itself, and once that begins to fall down, once the price begins to drop, just like a house of cards, right? You pull one out from the bottom, meaning that one of these whales starts selling. The guys who have less conviction begin selling, and then it creates an almost run on the bank type feeling like Terra Luna, for example. But I'm just trying to say, while there's cults, while they're built on an idea, and it might be good for a period of time, once those whales have convinced you enough and they decide to sell, chances are that stack is going to come crumbling down. Meme coins are likely the best type of asset to do that with because they don't have to convince you in anything apart from, hey, it's a cult, right? Get on before it's too late. Point 5 kind of builds on that. If you're asking yourself, well, what makes a quality coin in this case? Well, in my personal opinion, and this is a subjective point, I think a quality coin is one that focuses on a crypto problem and tries to solve that problem, like Wormhole with connecting different networks, like Pyth with oracles, for example, and also one that is actually generating some revenue that is ideal, but isn't the bee's knees. It isn't that important to do. And I think what is important, though, is point number 3, which is utility. I think it does have to have utility in that sense. In a way, actually, if the bandwagon or the meme kind of falls away, unlike sort of meme coins, there isn't anything else propping it up apart from the hodl bro mentality. In this case, there is that, hey, this thing is actually being used for X, Y, and Z purpose, and we can see that on chain. So in my personal opinion, not every coin will fit that criteria, and it doesn't have to fit that criteria to be a good coin, but if it does tick those boxes, you are definitely in a very good asset, in my opinion. Of course, not financial advice. Number 6, guys, sell levels. This is by far the most important thing. Most people end up not doing sell levels in crypto, and the reason being is ultimately because it's boring. They don't do exit levels. As a matter of fact, even if they do, they don't actually know how to do it properly. They don't know how to work out their weighted average, being the price they actually end up selling out at on average based on how many tokens they sell at their sell levels themselves. That's why I've gone ahead and created sheets like this one here in the private community to work this out as easy as possible and create things like the bull run cheat sheet with all these different tools to help you win in this bull run. Because guys, believe it or not, it's great creating this massive portfolio and the expectation of massive amounts of profit. And guess what? That's hitting your dopamine receptors. That's making you feel good, and you start thinking about all the things you're going to buy with that money. But again, most of the time it's not going to happen because you don't actually have a solid sell plan. Very simple, all right? Make sure you do this now without you thinking greedily, because if you start thinking greedily, you're going to think your coin could 1,000 1,000x from here. Chances are most of them can't. Point 7, crypto experts. This is a big problem, guys. I actually come across a comment I saw in a recent video here today. This guy said, you're not ready for Aerodrome, about to 32x. And this guy says, damn bro, are you sure? Because I'm about to dive in right now. A prime example of a situation where anyone that is a simple one page ahead of you in terms of their understanding on any subject is considered an expert to you. Someone that can explain things to you in a way that you haven't seen so far, even if it is a couple lines ahead of where you're, metaphorically reading, to you is like, wow, groundbreaking, okay? So this goes for influencers most importantly as well, guys, because we are people who have followings, and you think by default, human nature, that this person has a following of X amount, that means that they are a certain amount of verified or certified, okay? Which is not a good way to look at things at all. Guys are out here with hundreds of thousands and millions of followers on crypto, YouTube, and Twitter, and they don't know all that much over you, but you still listen to them because, again, they're so-called certified with these followers. It is unfortunately not a mature enough industry at this point in time for us to have a clear structure to say, okay, this is kind of how the market works and moves. This is how altcoins pump, and this is what to look out for. It hasn't happened yet. But again, we're all just trying to, learn in our own way. And what that means is that you need to actually take these opinions on board and form your own. Don't be this guy and have a guy that has 5 likes, a random dude on the internet under one random video that says a coin's at a 32x, and think to yourself, hey, 5 likes, certified, verified. He seems confident in the way in which he presents himself. I'm going to listen to him. Formulate your own opinions and make a decision yourself. Point 8, yes, it's true. The strongest coins in this industry will likely have the biggest and strongest cults. This doesn't mean they will perform the best, but you'll likely see some sort of result from holding the coin. And this is pretty much because evangelists or people who are in these cults continuously buy these coins. They have conviction in these coins, whether it goes down, up, left, or right. And ultimately, they want to bring on more people. So you have more evangelists creating content and so on. Yes, this is why meme coins are so successful. But again, it's built on a rocky foundation, in my personal opinion. And what you can do in this case to keep tabs on how strong the community is, and I highly suggest, especially if you own an altcoin, to do this, join the Telegram and Discord of every single coin that you own and just check it briefly once a day. If you find the team or moderators are censoring genuine concerns or comments on the project, if they're deleting people or you hear they're blocking people, again, based on genuine things, that is a telltale sign that things are likely a little bit murky on the back end, okay? They're trying to censor some really big problems, and that to me is an indication eventually the community and this cult will come crumbling apart, and you don't want to be the people or person stuck when that happens, because everyone, even those big evangelists buying a lot of the tokens for a long period of time, will begin selling, and they will sell and no one's buying. So make sure you just keep tabs on that. Again, cults are very important. Keeping tabs on the sentiment, keeping tabs on the Twitter and YouTube engagements is very important, but please join the Telegram and Discord. Point 9, I've mentioned this on a recent video as well, but guys, stick to a coin. Don't be chasing your tail trying to find the coins that are popping off in different areas at a given time. Forget about SUI if you're not already invested in SUI. Forget about Solana ecosystem if you miss that. Forget about AI if you miss that. Don't go chasing the dragon, because you'll always end up screwing yourself over. Okay, make sure you find a quality coin now in a quality area, be that gaming, AI, or so on, and just sit and wait. Not financial advice. This is not financial advice. You got to know when to hold and when to fold. Sometimes things come up and you got to look to sell or whatever it may be. I did this in the last cycle. I see people now with portfolios of all these coins that they don't know what they actually are, that tried to chase the pumps happening in different ecosystems at a given time. And guess what? They come to me and they say, Kyron, I want to look to get rid of these coins. I lost money on these coins. What are these coins? Point 10, 10 minutes of research per altcoin per day, a staple, in my opinion, in this market. Now, what that actually constitutes is, one, have 3 people that you follow within that project itself. An evangelist, the project itself, and a sort of third-party influencer. What that looks like is coming to a website called lunacrush.com, typing in your project's name. Solana's obviously typed in here. Click top right corner, top creators, and have a look at who these creators are. So when I say a third-party influencer, I mean someone like Altcoin Daily, right? Someone who covers a wide array of altcoins. You want to follow them on Twitter specifically. Okay, so make sure the network here is X. You want to follow the Solana Foundation for any updates, and you want to follow an evangelist, someone who only talks about Solana, is a Solana fanatic. Okay, so this guy over here, see top assets, Solana, follow this, whoever this is. But do a bit of research. Actually figure out who they are, what their motive is, and so on and so forth, right? A little bit of research research now, follow these 3 main profiles on Twitter per coin, and then come to a website like Today on Chain and have multiple of these saved in your browser, of course, that aggregate all the news in the crypto space every day and just skim the articles here or skim the titles of the articles looking for one of the coins that you currently own. And I do believe just typing in Google, Solana news today, for example, is pretty important because you're looking for bad or good news in which you can make a critical decision in the moment based on whatever that news actually is. So try to minimize the amount of coins you actually own based on this rule. Point 11 here as well, I think a lot of you guys have to wake up to, and it's utility coins, not crypto utility coins. I'm talking Web 2 utility coins. Around 18 months ago, I was heavily invested in a lot of these coins like Hedera HBAR, Algorand, Casper with a C, XRP, XLM, XDC Network. I believe these are all very, very strong coins, mind you. The only issue is that for this bull run, a speculation-heavy bull run that is focused for people like you and I buying these coins, it's not going to do well because these coins focus on growing Web 2, right? Looking at pretty much onboarding suit and ties, right? Institutions. And these institutions take decades, at least 5 years really, to want to adopt a new technology and put that into their existing supply chain or tech stack. And in that case, even if they do decide to adopt some of this technology, guess what? They do it on a private network. They don't do it on a public network usually. And if they do a public network, they just utilize the public network for settlements. So all I'm saying here is that unfortunately, there isn't going to be a massive supply shock from a massive partnership likely. The only reason a sort of supply shock or sudden growth in a coin like one of these utility coins will occur is because this news is announced to us, retail, speculation market, and we go, other people are going to buy based on this news. Let's buy to front run that and make some money. So it all comes back around to focusing within crypto. That's why I say it's important for you to find a quality coin in crypto that focuses on solving a problem for this market, for this bull run. I think next bull run, these coins will do really well. I'm not going to say they won't do well this cycle, but we're looking for high gains here. We're looking for safe high gains. And I think hedging into utility Web3 coins is a much safer bet. These enterprises like Google and stuff don't actually have to adopt their public network, which means there's no need to buy the public token that we buy and speculate on, of course. Look at HBAR. I love the coin, but of course, Adama, one of the sort of consumers of HBAR itself, have been buying the HBAR token, and they're pretty much the main reason why HBAR has remained above 1,000 TPS for so long, even as 2,000 TPS. But guess what? HBAR's price hasn't skyrocketed, okay? This is what I'm sort of saying here, right? We have to make sure we are very concerned with this cycle, and the utility coins of the next cycle, I think, will come around once regulation enters the space. Lastly, those wanting to hodl, I believe, are crazy. There's a big thing in crypto with hodling, right? Hold forever and don't ever sell your tokens. Now, as I mentioned with meme coins, a lot of the time this is done purely for malicious reasons, right? To convince you to buying or again holding, and then they look to dump on you. I've actually seen an influencer recently being called out for doing such a thing, okay? So people do it. It's very scary and dangerous as you as a participant because, again, you think these people have a bunch of followers for a reason, right? They're somehow experts or have your best interests at heart. Okay, so look at it in the lens of like, what are they gaining from this? This whole philosophy around hodling also applies to Bitcoin to some degree, even the top assets, because the thing with crypto is most of the influencers or team members or VCs are in this space to try to push these coins up and up and up. And again, not always malicious, but what this actually causes is the team members to get quite wealthy in the interim, right? And so when this team actually makes their money, there's no need for them to keep the project up for the next cycle. So when you hodl a coin from this cycle into the next cycle, guys, the team members might not give a crap about this coin any longer. They might also have no funding. The funding might have run dry as well, all right? They might have spent it on all the marketing for this one cycle. Point being, they only focus on one cycle, and it's usually propped up by external factors like retail, influencers, whatever it might be. Now, there are some coins that do last a distance, but I think finding those are quite hard for the average person. It's things like finding a coin that focuses on utility, genuine utility for Web 2 and Web 3 for the long run. Flux with their WordPress integration, right? There's a reason to buy the Flux token to get a discount on creating your own website, for example. Render. Buying Render actually benefits you with the jobs. Now, a lot of influencers will tell you don't buy old coins. And the reason they say this isn't the reason why I just mentioned, right? But it does make sense. Buying old coins sometimes isn't good for you because these teams are out of funding, out of ideas, and are just trying to scrape through even more money for this new cycle. They don't really care. There are projects that of course do flourish cycle on cycle, and these are usually the coins, again, that have that, actual genuine utility, but also they're looking to mold themselves into the new trends of the new cycle. Okay, look at Avalanche, for example. These guys guys here are likely going to put in much higher highs than they did in the last cycle, right? Chainlink as well, Near Protocol, Aave, Render already put in a new all-time high. ASI already put in a new all-time high. I can go on, but these coins are distinct because they are in narratives that benefit themselves for this bull run, which may not be around in the next bull run, but also they've updated themselves. They've continued to put in work and again have some sort of utility for the long run. Now, Bitcoin and Ethereum and some of these large caps you can maybe get away with. There's a whole discussion about that I could bring up. That'd be another 10-minute video, but I've spoken about it enough on the channel for those of you who are subscribed to know about already. My personal opinion, you don't have to listen to me. This is all, I think, built off all my research, many hours in the space, and again, losing lots of money to figure this all out. But again, don't listen to me. I'm an influencer at the end of the day. Go back to a previous point there and re-listen to that, all right? I love crypto as much as the next guy, but unfortunately right now where we stand is that this industry is built just like cults, okay? It's full of fake promises. It's full of tribalism, angry people who hate you based on you buying a different coin to them. It's shocking, okay? But we can use this to our advantage. Now, remember this sort of stuff, and then hopefully in the next cycle, things will change. I do think they will, and we'll hopefully be here to all tell the story. That being said, everyone, thank you all for being here and watching the whole way through. If you have made it this far, hit that like button. It does help support all I do, and I'll talk to you all on the next one. Take good care. Bye-bye.